big!
In or out, it's your call.
There's no ref here.
That's on us.
Decisions like these are about trust.
That's spirit.
Not a slogan.
But to be fair,
Even when the game is on the line.
It's not easy.
Sometimes it gets intense.
Because spirit keeps the game bigger than the point.
Bigger than the call, bigger than me.
It's how I know I can go all out.
and trust my opponent will too.
It's not just rules, it's respect.
Because when you respect the call,
You respect the player.
It's every decision you make.
Every conversation,
every point,
It's the reason I compete at my best.
And when I have to make the call,
in or out,
I'll call it honestly.
Because spirit is the standard.
And we don't play below it.
Come on, Andy! Come on, Andy! Big!
joining us. The stream a little bit technical difficulties get going here for the 2026 Canadian Ultimate Championships senior phase of the tournament. You just watched Salty score a goal from our side angle on the camera. We've just been having a little audio trouble, but you're joining us for the first match in coverage of the senior phase of the tournament. Clay Hallett here with Shane Pfeiffer. Pleased to bring you this game. We've got Salty from Halifax in the dark blue and Victoria Hucklebears in the white. You'll see someone dressed in a giant bear costume on the sideline to kind of give you how the vibes are starting here at the tournament. Both teams feeling pretty good. Salty rolling through their first game of the day. Can't remember their opponent, but and the Hucklebears losing to Remix. Close game at the beginning until they were down. Shane, you and I are both from the island, both from Victoria or north of Victoria in Nanaimo. But we're going to be super good and unbiased. How are you feeling about this game?
Clay, it's good to be here. It's been good weather all week for the junior tournament, and that's continued into the senior tournament. And a couple of clean holds to start this game. I'm sure Hucklebears is happy with their first possession, and now they'll get the disc back.
Yeah. So the score 1-1. Webster is going to run past this disc as it rolls just and kisses the line. But Smith is going to take it from right there and flip it over to Marshall. No one is on Lee in the center. Flips that over to Webster for a gainful under. Looking to put it out to space. Instead gets the around to Smith and over to Marshall. Marshall has an under to Copeland. Salty shifting to forcing to the away side. That pass is just a little too high for Emily O'Day. And Salty with their first break chance of the game. Salty setting up in a horizontal offense. Pivoting, looking for a reset right away. O'Neill is available. O'Neill had an open cut to number 33, Crystal Caldwell, but it's overthrown. And O'Day will bring this up to the sideline for Victoria. Takes the around reset to Smith. Lee available. Her pass up high. Webster expertly fields that. Looking for Lee at the high stall count, and a little bit of frantic play there results in a turnover. Salty with some give-go action. Getting it to Caldwell, moving that up to Duclos. Duclos going to chuck. Sails over everybody to Laren Lim. And she's going to elect not to take the free dump because there's a call down the field. I think I saw a travel call. Or is it a pick? I mean, we love hand signals, not seeing any yet. I saw the rolling of the fists for a travel. I saw flex of biceps for a pick. And there is a pick call, so it's going to have to come back. It's not a complete huck because Shane, I think the pick happened 2 throws ago.
It looked like it happened when Salty was in their handler movement before that huck came up from Duclos, and so the throw is going to have to come back.
Yeah, that if you're not too familiar with Ultimate, the continuation rule is if that pick were to happen, while that throw had been in process or in the air, it would have stood, and then players would have got caught up. But after that one subsequent throw is completed, play is considered dead after that. So since that was 2 passes, it does have to come back. Our crew over here is working on the bird's eye view camera, so we'll have that for you in a little bit, but we hope you enjoy the side angle for the time being. Dupuis with the disc moves that to O'Neill. And her pass is too far in front, but foul called. Looks like O'Day and her are going to have a discussion. Dupuis saying, while I went up the line, you probably ran into my path where I could not have avoided contact or changed. But it's retracted. So Smith will pick up.
You'd love to see that, Clay, that conversation between players and then the decision to retract. Sometimes you just make the call because you think it's necessary, and then you decide after a conversation with your opponent, you know what? I don't think it was a foul. Let's just play on.
And getting it done quickly. nonetheless, too. Being like, okay, I called it. Let's have a talk quick. Okay, I see your perspective. Yeah, I'm good. Rather than taking, 2 minutes for reenactments and perspectives, perhaps unsolicited from the sideline. And so, love to see it happen quickly. Lee has the disc here. Goes back to her as there was a pick. And Hucklebears here looking for their hold on their second offensive possession. Copeland just unable to reel that in. It looked like she had it or she just had it against Case there, but she calls a foul, saying to Case, I think that was in my hands, and you bonked me, knocking it out. Case kind of turned around and was ready to play, so I don't think she fouled her. So we'll go to our observers, both players offering their perspective to AK in the orange there. Team Orange has been so great this week. Observer ruling was a foul. Copeland did have it, and it was pushed out of her hands by Case's body. AK's perspective. So Copeland will retain the disc for the completed catch. Everybody just has to be in position. That's what the discussion is about. Copeland doing a little quarterbacking here. You're not really supposed to do that, but called the shot to Webster and takes it, who goes around to Smith. Smith and Webster are teammates from the Vikes and formerly Traffic. So they've done a lot of playing together. Another Vikes player there. Lee gets that to Marshall, who has been active in the Victoria community for quite a bit now. So Hucklebears with the hold, the score, 2-1.
It was a nice little shot inside with the backhand, getting it across the line.
Yeah.
No mark on Lee, but she chose to take the shot anyway, and it was rewarded.
Great play by Lee. Been working on those short passes. I've been practicing against her in mini, and she's stupid good at it. Quick passes, quick movement. Can come in handy when you get into the red zone. So far, I would say we're not seeing a lot of... Well, okay, no, how should I put this? Everything's very tight defensively, but we actually haven't seen a clean block yet. It's been mostly turnovers on airs. But the defense is there. I'd say there have been some pressure Ds for sure.
Definitely, and it was all on that point, right? I think the first 2 points, or at least Hucklebears had a clean hold to start, and I think Salty's was a clean hold. I can't remember anymore because this third point was long with some turnovers back and forth. So, but a lot of thrower errors and execution errors.
Yeah.
But definitely some defensive pressure to force that.
Yes, Neffen with the pull. She's wearing number 15. That's my wife's number. So, won't read the back of her jersey to get it wrong. Chen, out of reach as Fitzgerald turns on the Jets and pitches that around to McDonald. Out to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald looking for the reset, kind of running out of time, but it's number 30, Robin Tyndall, doing some hard work there to keep it alive, and then finding the big crossfield pass to Chloe McDonald. Easy point for Salty. Safe for the rescue executed by Robin Tyndall there. So Tyndall getting it done for Salty. The score 2-2.
A good bid there by Amber Leafers to make an effort on that throw towards the sideline, and then with Leafers on the ground, the handler was just able to take that shot to an open receiver in the end zone.
Yeah, getting tight, but Tyndall just kind of put her feet down and hustled up the sideline as hard as she could in order to get that reset. I mean, I imagine that was a pretty high stall count with the kind of lockdown D in the back there, but
it was a great mark, and then that upline cut from Tyndall. That's 2 assists now for Tyndall.
Oh, okay. You're tracking this. Good. Thank you. I am so bad at that. So
someone's got to do it, Clay.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. Jane comes from a cool background. You've done a lot of baseball play-by-play and announcing, isn't that right?
I announced for the Nanaimo Night Owls in the West Coast League baseball a few years ago, and previous to that at the University of Winnipeg, before moving back to the West Coast.
Hamill moves that to O'Day, gets around to Marshall. Lee's coming across, but Marshall instead is going to look to O'Day. And That is a great huck, but unfortunately not brought in by Alina Liang, just bouncing off of her hands. So I say unfortunately for Hucklebears, doing our best here to be impartial. This is a coast versus coast battle here. Halifax versus Victoria.
I think that must be the two furthest geographical teams at this tournament.
I think you're right. Ward moves that to Lewis. Caldwell's going to get it. Caldwell coming off her play with Sauer at the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships. They made top 8. They did great. But that pass just bounces off her receiver's hands. So O'Day picks up. Webster with the scoop up line. Good safe play there by the Salty defenders, not to blindside. So good on you, Dupuis, for that heads up spirit. Marshall puts that out to space for Webster. And Hucklebears with the dirty hold. The score 3-2. So both teams, I would say, relying on the handler core to get it done. That isn't to say we haven't seen some shots. They've just been unsuccessful, either by execution or, well, if you're a Salty fan, the unfortunate pick call when they had a wide open receiver deep for a break. So handlers getting it done so far. A lot of that earlier in the week in the junior phase of our tournament. And early in games, I'm often not surprised to see that, as downfield cutters kind of need to figure out how the defenders move, what they're ready for, and how they're going to throw more jukes to get open.
Seems to be one or the other, right? You either have a lot of handler movement early in the game as teams try to feel each other out, or you see a team come out on first point and chuck a shot and just see how the defense is going to react. And that really speaks to the style of play of the team, whether or not they're willing to take risks.
Yeah. Pulled by Hucklebears. Hangs for a little bit, but Salty gets it moving. Tyndall has a gap in the middle to McMacken. They'll get it back to Tyndall. Thinking about the backhand huck, but says, nope, she's there. And instead, Fairweather comes back across. And now we're going to get a deep shot. And it's number 32 from Salty, whom we're going to get the name of eventually, with the great reception there. Easy hold for Salty.
I don't see 32 on my roster.
Okay, so fun fact. I was telling you this before the game. I'm going to call out all you senior players at once here. In the junior tournament, we have all the numbers and last names of the players totally complete before the tournament. Nice on our game sheets here as we can look down at our notes and see, because they have to get registered by parents and coaches and chaperones and administrators. Seniors have to register themselves as individuals and then join teams. And there happens to be a lot of incomplete registrations.
Well, Clay, I'll say one of these two teams on this particular stream did fill out a complete roster with numbers.
That's right. We're just missing 32 from Salty. Hucklebears missing quite a few numbers at the beginning of the game, but we were able to get everything we needed. So this pull coming from Marley Morningstar. Familiar faces on the O-line for Hucklebears. As Marshall gets it centered from Smith. Hucklebears trying a play here. It's kind of broken, but they still have some open receivers, and Copeland seemed to be looking at the line to make sure she was in bounds before completing the catch. So Dubois picks up as Salty's already halfway down the field for this break chance. Hucklebears messing up the force. Wesley James elevates to make that catch and punish some defensive disorganization from Victoria. Dupuis is going to chuck. And O'Day just makes the last-minute Mac block against Crystal Caldwell. Caldwell was open deep, but that throw just took a line that was favorable to O'Day. And she'll bring it up. She's calling a play. See if Hucklebears can execute this with more organization this time. They seem to. Running the wide play. Instead, looking to their handlers. Smith with the juke, but bounces off her hands, claps her hands. You know she wants that one back. Caldwell. Over to Duclos. And Duclos is able to fire that to Laren Liam, and that is a break for Salty. Salty capitalizing on the airs from Hucklebears. The score 4-3 as Salty takes their first lead of the game.
Some great movement from Salty there, approaching the goal. You get a turnover and get a chance to set up your end zone, and they didn't wait too long. You see that in the junior game sometimes where you take 30 seconds to try to set up the perfect play, and they didn't do that. They transitioned quickly, everyone got to their spots, and they kept the pressure on.
And that's experience for you. It's knowing when they're not ready downfield. I'm just going to mess around with my handlers here and reset it rather than saying, are we ready? Are we doing this? This is what coach said. No, your senior players, your adults, they usually have a lot more initiative and knowledge of when to move things like this. My apologies to Sylvie Dupuis and Maxime Duclos. I'm getting the dues mixed up. So, but great play there. Great huck by Duclos. Set everything up there for Salty. Seeing some familiar faces out there. Crystal Caldwell with the pole. And it's Salty electing to ride some of the more veteran players here to try and stack up a break with their D-line to get the comfortable lead. And Ainsley Lewis makes the play on the throw across on the open side. Caldwell tries to put out to space, but Harned there to shut the door. She saw that coming. Hucklebears moving into the middle. Neppin gets that out to Leafers. Her pass is a little too low. And Salty back with another break chance. Up line to O'Neill. Dupuis doesn't like her options. Fires that up the line to O'Neill, who takes the jab step to get open on Caseman. And she puts that out up high to Caldwell, who's able to muscle her way into the space. Another break for Salty. The score 5-3. Shane, it seemed to me there that Salty just had the wheels on offense where Hucklebears were kind of trailing.
That'll happen when you've got 16 players. It seems that Salty is really working it with their legs and continuing to grind down the Hucklebears O-line after they get those turnovers to force a break chance.
Hucklebear timeout. That giant bear is so distracting.
I'm trying not to look at it, Clay.
You can get a halftime dance from it. Salty came into this tournament with 2 goals. One, to have fun. You know, like you said, they traveled probably the farthest to be here. Have to get the Google Maps out to find out the kilometers. We do have some teams here from Newfoundland.
There are, and they would have traveled slightly further.
Yeah, but I think you're right. This is so far the biggest kind of geographical distance matchup we've had. When you travel that far, you do want to have fun, but also Salty's strong. And in 2024, they took silver. Lost to Stella in the final, but battled through some insanely wet weather in Ottawa to make it to the final. And, you know, they want to try medaling if they can do it here. They have some New Brunswick players on their team as well. It's not just Halifax. That 2024 team, Salty, you can watch this back and correct me later if there's any fans on there on YouTube that want to correct me on this, but this team has seen some turnover. We've got 3 sour players, and in 2024, it felt like the team was more 50-50 on masters and seniors age players. So kind of a turnover here for Salty, but not really affecting their abilities here. They're moving the disc really well. They're winning with their legs, as you said, Shane. So everyone's seeming very confident.
Sometimes that turnover is exactly what a program needs, as you have a youth program that's starting to build and funnel into the senior program. I know that's been the case in Victoria, Clay, where the senior side is now starting to grow. On
They're kicking us out. I'm still lingering, but our numbers are dwindling. So, but
I knew you'd have something to say about that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's watching them take over is what I've been coaching them to hopefully happen forever. So, you know, it's cool. Webster. Gonna bring the disc to the middle as that pull sailed out of bounds. As Smith on their knees as Marshall takes off on a handler strike. Smith is going to go right to her. Is it too far? Marshall sees that it's sailing, puts her head down, but the disc sails out of bounds.
Is that a planet?
Well, yes, that was a planet. It was just really localized to one lane. Marshall went up the lane that Smith came down from, so it has to be a straight shot throw in a narrow window. It's tough to execute. Had Marshall come more into the middle of the field, would have been easier. But Salty's happy to take it as Duclos gets it up the line. Gonna chuck again. This is contested. Lee just misses it, and McMacken brings it down and puts that out to Liam. And that's 2 goals on the break side, leading passes to Liam. She's had to make 2 athletic grabs in the end zone now. Maybe her team will consider throwing a pass she can get standing up, or maybe not. You're like, nah, Laren, you can get it on the ground every time. Keep doing it. You'll look cool.
They're playing on the live stream, Clay. They've got to make her look cool.
It's another break. So that's 3 breaks in a row. So Salty's gone on a 4-point run here. And the Hucklebear play, that planet, like I said, they took some lines that made it harder. The timing was good, but not a lot of room to throw on the sideline. You have to throw something really tight, which Smith did. And the wind so far, like, we're looking at the flags, and they're all really calm. It is a little bit breezy, and it's been very consistent in its direction. The top left of your screen, if you're looking across the field, straight on, proper, kind of comes from the top left and blows across into our faces and down to the bottom right. So it is a diagonal, but any disc thrown with an edge where the bottom faces up towards the bleachers is going to get carried. Caseman lets this pull land out of bounds. For a second, thought the other sideline was the outline. We have 2 here. We've got the sideline proper and the get back line. And we've seen a lot of confusion with that. Searching for the brick. The observers will point towards it, but you got to find it on your own.
X marks the spot.
Yeah. Jets go play, split stack. Caseman doesn't like it, so she will go around to Harned, bounces off of her hands. Caldwell taking her time, letting her team set up. She has been the quarterback for Salty so far. Goes around to Duclos. All good. Kind of, I think, good choice, but just a little bit of a catch, a hesitation, unsure. Really seeing if that's what each other wanted results in a miscue. Arnett will pick up for Hucklebears. Looking for something. Has Leapers. Leapers uses her size to get up high. Looking for options, flips it over to Harned. Harned is a hucker, has a big lefty backhand, takes the shot to Chong. And Chong can't get there as that sails to the wrong side. Morningstar picks up. He gets the break for a huge gain to Wesley James. Nice shot. Duclos gets it. Duclos going to throw. And is it too far for 1-5? Just. So Chloe McDonald was there. Jane, you knew Duclos was going to throw that.
She's proven she will.
Yeah, gets into power position. Has good shots. I'd like to hear the shooter call from the defense when she gets it, but Hucklebears kind of lucky that the wind got underneath that one. Caseman. Is hand blocked by McDonald. So McDonald gets it back for her team after just coming up short, running down that huck. Duclos picks up inside break to Crystal Caldwell. Duclos proving to be a deadly thrower for this Salty team. The score 7-3. That's 4 breaks in a row. Salty pulling away. I hate to say it, but currently East Coast, West Coast.
It would appear that way in this game. It was 3 holds each, and suddenly Salty has just opened this game wide.
Yeah, they're calling a timeout. Shane, you coach a lot, and you just came off coaching the Dusk women's. So, your actually co-coach is out there for Victoria right now, Marion. going out there playing. And I wonder, like, have you called timeouts with a 7-3 lead? You've gone on a 5-point run. You call a timeout for your team. Have you called that timeout? And if you had, what are you talking about?
I have called that timeout. Typically, I'll call that timeout in the high school season when I want my team to refocus. Sometimes when you go on a bit of a run, it's easy for the kids to lose focus and to start thinking about maybe making throws that they shouldn't, taking shots that they don't need to. And you call that timeout just to say, hey, this is great. Let's keep our foot on the gas.
Yeah. And I love the way you said that without any mention of anything like bubbles or anything like that. So that's great. And yeah, it's just refocus. Let's focus on our team. And it is so easy for teams to take their foot off the gas when you have a lead like this and you've scored 5 points in a row. The Victoria group, you know, it's execution. And perhaps not responding to the speed that Salty is playing with. But they have gotten some goals that haven't been close. Like, they've been able to get some goals that have been, you know, rather simple. But haven't been able to string it together since. So perhaps in that timeout called by Salty, they've been also able to refocus. We shall see. As O'Day will pick up this pull and center to Smith. Split and send play out the vertical, so that's 2 off the back to the sides. 3rd in the stack strikes. But there's a stall down call against Smith. Smith is going to contest. And Wesley James is like, yeah. So this will come back to Smith. And O'Day checks with her check to see if the separation's okay. And Smith turns right around and flips it to O'Day, as she has no time. O'Day fakes the break over top. Doesn't have any other options, so she and Smith will do a give go, and that pops off O'Day's hands on that low throw. Ainsley Lewis picks up an earlier run through D. Her pass also a little too low for her receiver. Smith yelling vertical. Duhamel sets it up with her hand up as the anchor. Webster cuts out to the open side, and Smith will hit her. Lee with the juke. Digs that out of the ground. Has Marshall in the middle off the front. Marshall looking for the Huck, not there. Looking for help. Running out of time, needs to flip that to someone. Gets O'Day, no ball count called, so just got that off. O'Day looking for options, goes around to Marshall. Marshall have more support this time. She does to Smith. Back to Marshall. Smith goes up the line. Victoria employing the fun throw and go offense in the stack. If it's a break throw, the front goes, so Lee takes off. Lee looks to the back. And it's O'Day with the goal. So Hucklebears back on the board. The score 7-4.
Wind picked up just a little bit in that point. Might have helped the Hucklebears a little bit on their trip down the field.
Yeah. It's perhaps time that Hucklebear was thinking one executioner would go their way as well, as there was a low pass thrown by Salty, which gave him that second shot as well. Salty has the opportunity here to play around a bit with their roster. They're also not a giant team when it comes to numbers, but they have a healthy lead and can throw some D-liners on or O-liners that haven't seen the field yet, some experience. This is the time to do it. You have the healthy lead and noticing that you're winning with legs. I'm going to connect with this player. And we're going to find out who the 6th player on the line is for Salty, wearing number 32.
It's Amy Ward from Salty who's filling us in. Thanks, Amy.
duplicate. So it turns out it was Ward telling me that there's a duplicate number. So Ward is 27 and Minikin is 32.
Now the two Amy's.
So, two Amy's, yes. So Minikin's out there. And gets it moving against this zone. And Lana Lee gets the run through D, looks back, see, hits the ground, lets out a smile. I did that. Webster. Over to Smith. Puts that out to space to Lee. And that bounces out of Chung's hands. She slaps her legs in frustration. No, she should have had it. Tyndall. Able to get it to McMacken. Around to Minikin. And that pass a little too high. Tyndall tried to make the play. She was mid-gate on her run, so hard to get up high to make that catch. Lee safely collects that against the poach. Goes over to Georgia Smith. Open side throw to Leah Dempsey, pardon me. And that fiery throw from Smith just behind Harned's hand. And now Salty's off to the races, has the advantage with two players deep.
That's a great shot.
45 and 1-5, can't connect. So Fairweather is able to get down there, and her throw to McDonald just brushed, or perhaps the wrong edge. I'm not sure, Shane, but too bad losing the gimme there.
When it's a 2-on-0 in the end zone, sometimes you just take your eye off the disc for a second, but it was a great huck from McMacken to set it up.
Harned unleashes the big backhand, something she's known for in the community. Jung reels that one in with ease. We'll flip that back over to Lee, but there's a poach by Fairweather. Good defensive play, but Lee's able to make the adjustment. Marshall now outside of the end zone will hit Smith. Webster available for a 3-yard pass in the middle. Hucklebears settling into an end zone vertical stack. Webster's been looking upfield for quite a while. She's going to go with the inside break to Chung. And that is a break for the Hucklebears. Very much needed their first of the game. The score, 7-5. Now, the pace seemed to change for the Hucklebears on that point. Finally waking up and turning on the Jets to get in front of Salty. Perhaps after they saw the 2-on-0 and got very lucky on that turnover, said to themselves, wow, if Salty's that fast, we got to pick it up.
They found some energy after they got that hold on the last point, and they know that they caught a break, received a gift,
Yeah, very much
and
so.
then made it count on the upwind break after.
You know, that timeout at 7-3, pardon me, was called. And since then, it's 7-5. So interesting that perhaps that timeout backfired and trying to say, let's keep our foot on the gas, while in fact, Hucklebears are starting to go on a run here. Ultimate is a gain of runs, though. Salty had theirs. And, you know, we're seeing some pretty much the same O-line out there. So there, Salty is undaunted.
Salty wouldn't have expected this game to be easy. They wouldn't have expected after going up 7-3 for Hucklebears to just roll over and die. So this won't be a surprise to them, but nonetheless, they'll want to stop the bleed.
No one on Salty, so they get a give-go in their handler core between Tyndall and Caldwell with relative ease. They've already worked it to half as the defense finally gets on. Fairweather moves that over to Caldwell. Seeing Schroeder out there for the first time, making a play. Caldwell going to go back. Oh, not back to Schroeder. Instead is going to throw that out to space. And I don't think McMacken knew that was coming, but and put her feet down and just turned and burned to make the play, bring our score to 8-5. And that will be our half. These games are 2:15, so that hold will take us into a 7-minute break here. You can stick around and watch some ads, and we'll inquire with these teams if anyone would like to be on the mic just to answer a few questions. Otherwise, we'll be returning in 7 minutes. So stay with us or go do what you need to do. Maybe a cup of coffee. We'll be right back. Okay, so kind of knew this halftime interview what I was gonna have to do here after mentioning it on the stream. I'm here with Jackie.
Hey
from,
guys.
From guess which team she's representing for the Hucklebears here. You are spirit captaining, and
Yep.
let's just talk about how you're encouraging that good spirit.
You know, well, I can't play because I got injury.
Okay.
So I was like, how can I still bring the fun, the spirit, and the hype to the game, even with crutches and stuff on? And the bear costume, my mom actually gave me this. She said, you're injured, here's a bear costume. And I said, I don't know what you want me to do with this. And then I put it on and I said, I know my mission now. And everyone loves to give little taps, little hugs. Other teams love it. Parent Club give me their babies
I mean,
to
I
take
don't
pictures.
see an inflatable salt shaker out there, so I guess
No.
you're winning this battle right now.
No. And, I mean, even when, like, you know, you get the other team gets a couple breaks in the row, of like, people are looking down and then they look over at the bear costume and then they're like, it's okay. It's all good. We got it.
I just kind of wanted to wrap this up by asking you, I mean, how is the team going to like keep their head in the game this week? You have a very small roster of 16 people or less, I think, with injuries.
Yeah.
So is this part of the way you're going to keep the team in it? And is there other ways that everyone's supporting each other?
I mean, we're all going through a bunch of stuff, but we're a family, we're a tight-knit group, and numbers aren't deterring us. Like, we are just so excited to be here. It's the first time in 4 years that the Hucklebears have been here, so we're just really grateful to be here. And no matter our numbers, no matter what's going on, we're just having fun and just super excited to be here. Yeah.
Fantastic. We'll leave it there. Good luck the rest of the game, Jackie, and hopefully the heat doesn't catch up to you on that thing.
Oh, so. I know. We're worried.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good job. So I'm here with Laren Liam. Oh,
We discussed
we
this.
just okay. Fix it right now,
Loren,
Loren. Oh my God.
you got it.
You know, I'm not caffeinated enough yet. You literally just told me. I'm sorry.
Good.
We've been talking about you otherwise, though, when you haven't been here. Shane and I were remarking how your team has decided that since this is the showcase field, they're only going to throw you passes where you have to hit the dirt. Right?
Yeah, we call it aura farming, is what
Or
we're saying.
yes,
Just
that's
throwing
what
it
the
a little
youth
bit,
say
little bit
now.
ahead, just to show off a bit.
Yeah, well, you played great so far. I mean, it was a tight game at first, and then your team kind of started going on a run there, and then you called the timeout. We were curious, what was said in that timeout when you were up 7-3, like, or 7-4, whatever it was?
I think in the timeout, Latka was trying to tell us to focus on our game. I think we weren't doing some of our set plays where normally we're pretty consistent with our set plays that we run. So we were just trying to, take a deep breath and focus on that.
Did it backfire? That was our speculation, because then they got 2 points. Or was it just more like, no, we're still doing it, and those errors weren't related? Like...
Coming into the second half, I think we're hoping that that's not going to backfire. We're gonna settle into our plays.
Okay, awesome.
I think it's also important for us to keep our energy up. Sometimes when we get scored on, it's easy to get down, so we're trying to keep our team energy up.
I guess now's the time to do it. You got your 1-2 matchup in the last round today when you play Calgary's Remix. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And has that been something your team has been thinking about, planning for? Or?
We're just trying to focus on the game at hand, the point ahead of us. So we're just trying to focus on this game for sure.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for doing the interview.
thank
I see your
you.
team is back on the line there, so I'm going to let you go. Josh hasn't given me side eye yet, so but, I think you're ready to go. So thanks so much for the interview, and
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thanks. Oh, I got to shout out my mom and dad. I don't know if I'm still on.
Yeah, do it.
Hey, Mom and Dad, thanks for supporting me. Love you. Thanks so much.
For sure. All right, we're back. Second half action here in our first streamed game of the senior phase of the 2026 Canadian Ultimate Championships. Injury call as on a fake here by Robin Tyndall. O'Day takes it in the face. The disc came across and swiped her. Tyndall right away recognizing that that was an accident. O'Day walks off on her own power. And no malicious intent, just an unfortunate accident. But as we were saying, from our women's division, we've got Salty in the dark blue from Halifax and the Hucklebears from Victoria in the white. This is the East Coast, West Coast battle of the tournament in the women's division. The disc is going to come back to Tyndall for sure, but I think they're just working out what the call should be. O'Day could presumably call a foul here, Shane, perhaps on, well, I was giving you disc space and you just smacked me. So it could be how the count has to stop or reset, I think.
I'm sure that's the conversation they're having, and the observer, Sandra, is there helping them decide on where that stall count should come in.
So Boone comes on for O'Day, and she's just trying to say, here's what I saw, and maybe we can figure it out here. And based on the body language, the 3 people involved, our 2 players in the observer, seem to be reaching a consensus on sports. And it's in at 3. I think that's the right call.
I think the conversation there, Clay, was whether or not a contact call might be made.
Oh, I see.
Which, of course, would have the stall count come in at 0. But
Right.
I agree. I think 3 made sense there.
Fairweather has Tyndall up the line. Tyndall, one of the other anchors in this offensive handler core, gets that around to not the intended receiver in Brody Fitzgerald, but it's going to work as Salty gets a little bit lucky, but it does not continue, and that pass is kind of thrown between 2 possible receivers So Hucklebears starting this half on defense. So they now have a break chance. Webster runs a wide cut, fakes deep, and comes back under. Lee does the same. They love their jump cuts and employ them to get it up the line here before pitching it around to Smith. Webster. Gives it to Chung. Marshall hits the dirt and somehow keeps it alive. I thought that was going to bounce, but athletic play from her. This works its way around to Smith. And that pass too late and it goes right into the hands of Minikin. And a shot to a wide open Galen McMacken. And she has support and takes her time to Charlotte Millie and Shane. That time on the 2-0, we saw some relaxation and patience to get the go-ahead goal.
McMacken really took her time before putting that flick into the end zone. They knew what happened last time and weren't going to let it happen again.
So that is a hold for Salty, extending the lead to 9-5. Had interviews there with Jackie the Hucklebear at halftime and Loren Liam, who I'm finally getting the name right. That was so embarrassing, Shane.
Happens, Clay. Happens to the best of us. We go check the phonetic pronunciation of names before the game and
then continue to get it
then
wrong.
we forget, even when we write it down in front of us.
So we're going to have a bit of a break after this stream for any of you wondering. We're doing 3 streams a day on the first 2 days of this phase of the tournament. And that might carry, well, no, it doesn't. But yeah, Thursday and Friday is just 3 streams a day. So we're going to take a break next round and then bring you round 4-5 with 1 mixed division game and 1 open division game. Dempsey picks up and enters that to Harned. Harned's going to shoot. Neffin makes the grab. And pitches that out to space to Long, not quite in. And she'll just grab, or excuse me, find Jen right away in the end zone. I really like how Long, getting it right on the line of the end zone, took no time to debate whether or not she was in or out, and instead just recognized she had someone open the end zone and just took the shot immediately. Because, Shane, it's interesting sometimes some people think they're in, they turn around, call it, everyone says they're out, the flow stops, and suddenly the defense sets up, and it's harder to score. And Long just content to look upfield and keep the flow going. So, good, smart veteran play there.
Great to keep that flow going, and if you're confident that you are not in yet, then just make the play and not have to worry about whether or not there may be a call to make.
Yeah, smart. Scored 9 for Salty, 6 for Hucklebears. Coach Colby Smith organizing his group out there. Smith, what's the classification of age group after you pass great grandmasters?
Legends.
Legend. A legend.
I don't think he's
himself.
legends yet.
Oh, I think he is. He might as well be. Man's been playing a long time.
He is certainly a legend, but whether or not he fits the legends division is up for debate.
Minikin. Across to Fitzgerald. Has an open upline throw to Fairweather. Oh, and that pass goes through a few hands. Schroeder unable to bring it in. And Webster's going to pick up. Over to Smith in the middle for the reset. Leah's open underneath. No continue for Hucklebears with the timing, and Salty's able to poach in the lanes. Hamel's able to get up the line, though, and moves that over to Marshall. And Smith unable to get that leading pass. And hearing the patience call from Salty's sideline. Getting set up. And who else but Tyndall picking up. on the D line for Salty. Over to Schroeder. Padelka. Padelka doesn't like the upline. We'll take the reset to Tyndall. Tyndall has space open in the middle to McMacken. Salty finding some flow. Fitzgerald doesn't see it continuing. We'll flip it back to Tyndall. Tyndall's going to put that out to space. And McMacken, the second reception in the end zone of the game where she's just like, and has to make some adjustments, but makes it well to go get it. Earlier having to turn and burn with the Jets to make the play. So that is a break for Salty. They now lead 10-6.
Another good read, as you mentioned, from McMacken in the end zone. The last one was a huck right over her head that she had to contort and find on a powerful shot from Caldwell.
No, pardon me. That was a hold, wasn't it? Okay, Shane, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm having a rough game. Getting something wrong. Don't have the numbers. Now I'm losing track of the breaks and everything. This happened to me in the morning game yesterday.
Well, there's a trend there. And the
producer Sarah Edie's not really paying attention, so I don't think she's unhappy, so this is good. Assistant producers Kat and McCush over there also looking at me like, yeah, you are having a rough game, bro. Just tighten it up a little bit here. So my apologies to the players. We're doing the best we can.
Isn't it the producer's job to get coffee for the commentary team in the morning?
Yeah. Yeah, I went to that coffee cart all by myself. It's good coffee, by the way. Hucklebears centering the disc to Dempsey. Off the hands of Neffin. Salty, another chance with a break. Morningstar has the upfield big gain to Duclos. And Lauren Liam elevates early to take it. I mean, to my credit, in the halftime interview, we talked about how she's going to just keep hitting the dirt for some aura farming in the end zone, and that was really easy catch. So I feel like we're even now.
I don't disagree with you.
Yes.
But she's also put 3 points on the board, so I think that's still what the kids would call aura farming.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Score 11-6. That's a break, for sure.
Certainly.
So these games are to 15. A lot of us used to league play and smaller tournaments, often playing to 13. But here at the Canadian Ultimate Championships, we do play to 15. Hucklebear, you heard from Jackie at halftime. Hucklebears do have a small roster. Players going through injuries, some unable to make it. Where my wife dealing with some knee issues, unable to make it. So lots of people in the Victoria community that could have played but are coming off injury or just a lot of time spent playing Ultimate. However, a younger contingent down there for Hucklebear, seeing a lot of just recently graduated Vikes or current Vikes out there.
Also one current VIU Ultimate player on the line right now, Alina Liang, number 45.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. This poll fielded by Duhamel. And he gets it over to Smith. See some biceps up in the air, which means there was a pick. Picks are illegal in Ultimate. If you're asking why, imagine running full speed, looking the other way, and running into a brick wall. So too dangerous when you're not wearing pads at this length of a field. But Salty able to turn the subsequent play in their favor. O'Neill with the run through D and the goal. Double happiness play for Sarah O'Neill. Another break for Salty. O'Neill getting it done for the team in dark blue.
It's a good transition play, Clay. They got the D and then immediately looked to score. It's one of the most important lessons for young players is as soon as you force a turnover, if you're the team that forced the turnover, look to transition quickly. And if you're the team that just turned it over, you got to play defense.
Oh, man. And you say that's a good lesson for young players. I mean, it's a good lesson to remember all the time. We do see it a lot less in seniors and masters, but during the week while you were coaching and I was calling the junior division, so many players got punished after making, kind of a silly mistake. It was right in their hands and they put their head down, they look at their hands, they're like, what am I doing? Meanwhile, their check is gone, scoring on a huck. So remember, don't dwell on your mistakes. You have a sideline and lots of time after the game to do that later, if you like to ruminate like I do. But
you love to see a team make that transition happen fast, like Salty just did, where as soon as you force a turnover, you don't just stop or walk away. You actually pick the disc up and put it in play.
Again, long time Hucklebears, center assist the Harned. Harned returning to Altman after a few years off is going to put it up to Dempsey. Dempsey's got a good read on it over the two defenders. And has Leafers. Leafers hits the ground and is able to get up. Has Chung up the line. Leafers doesn't like it. And looks for Dempsey, but Dempsey kind of pulled up from that cut as Amy Ward got in the way and Leafers didn't see the poach. Leafers tries to make up the distance on the up line. This throw up high to Morningstar, but nobody is there, so easily fielded by Marley. She'll get that around to Duclos. Sarah O'Neill over to Duclos. Puts it out far. And I will say that is a sick grab, but Dupuis landing on the sideline. The athleticism. We can edit out the sideline for the clip later. That was dope.
That's a great shot from Duclos and an incredible grab. Just couldn't drag the toe.
So Arned asking, where do I take the disc? She's actually going to take it right back there because offense left the field proper in the air, touched the disc, and then landed out of bounds. So they were technically touching it while they were still in before they were established out. That pass behind Neffen. Neffen trying to grab it. Shane, hard to see from here if that was a strip. That is to say a foul where it was pulled out of Neffen's hands. It was. And Neffen's going to chuck to Chung. Morningstar in the area, just unable to catch up. Chung is not in. Observers call lines and times, AK indicating not in, but Dempsey supporting Chung and turning on the Jets. Hucklebears refusing to go away. Will the Bear come out of hibernation, Shane, and make up 5 points?
They're working on it. It's 1 point at a time. You just chip away, get a hold, and then try to go get one break at a time. It's daunting when you look at it as a 5-point hole, but if you just try to go 1 point at a time, focus on doing what you can on that individual point, you can make it happen.
The coast-to-coast battle, Salty repping that with their name. I don't really know much about the coastal Hucklebear. But
the mysterious Hucklebear.
I mean, Salty, it makes sense. Next to the ocean, salt water. I mean, I kind of want to say on the West Coast, Hucklebear is probably a better choice than Victoria Seaweed.
Was that a candidate for the name when the team
I sure hope
was formed a few years ago, the Victoria Seaweed?
I feel like I could riff on that, but I shouldn't on stream.
I was going to say, there might be some good underlying meaning.
Well,
we didn't say it, Clay.
No, we're still not in trouble. We're good. So. Marshall's pole is going to be caught by Minikin, and she and Tyndall will get off to the races here. Fitzgerald moves it to Fairweather. Also wearing McPhee, so we'll apologies if we've been getting your name wrong, McPhee, but the list says something different. But you're motoring in the middle and moves that to Kadalka. And Kadalka's throw was kind of a gimme. Not sure if that pass to McDonald got caught in the wind or someone got a mac on
like
it. Yeah, okay.
It sure looked like the wind just popped it.
Marshall. Bringing the disc up here for the Hucklebears. No options, so she'll go around to Smith. Smith has some crisscrossing cuts. Everybody kind of in the way. So Marshall's going to move that around to O'Day, who calls for it to the break side. Doesn't have the break to do Hamill. She'll leave as Webster comes under. Has Dempsey on the break side, but McDonald moving into the lane to cut it off. Liang getting some production downfield. We'll get that back to Smith. Dempsey trying to get something, but Fairweather's just locking her down. Webster going to take a shot to Marshall. A hand gets on that. And Fitzgerald catches her D. And some subsequent passes. One is bobbled by Tyndall. So Hucklebears right back on offense. Smith looking for O'Day. O'Day with a jab step up and down the line. Getting the reset. Moves it to Webster. Smith calling for it. Doesn't pop it to Dempsey. Smith wants to shoot to Marshall. And Brody Fitzgerald with another D. Marshall unable to reel it in off the Spicy Mac. Salty moving upfield. Another high pass. McDonald tried to reel that in. There was a pick or something, but it doesn't apply. As result of the play is a turnover on the one continue. So Hucklebears do have it on offense. Smith has Marshall in the middle. Webster seemed to move up into the lane to cut it off. Marshall gets it nonetheless. Dempsey now going to put that out to space. Hucklebears seemingly underthrowing these, so Millie is able to intercept the pass to Alina Liang. And the pace continues. No team taking a break here, as we've got some very fast play at this point. Fairweather doesn't like the options under. We'll hit Tyndall. Tyndall looks to shoot. No one goes. Fairweather will get it back. Moves that around the middle to Millie. Fairweather shoots that one to McDonald, and she reels it in. They play pass together. Fairweather fakes, looking for the safe shot into the end zone. And after some switching, gets it. Millie was open, but saw, no, that throw is cool too. Good choice. Which brings the score to 13-7. Jane, I need to catch my breath. That was some very fast play by both teams.
That kind of reminded us of the third point of the game, where we had 2 clean holds to start and then a long, drawn-out point with a lot of turnovers and some sloppy play. And this point exhibiting some of the same characteristics. Some throwaways, some difficult catches, and Salty in the end gets the ugly hold.
Yeah.
Downwind, but Hucklebears putting the effort in to try to get that upwind break.
I think it's a matter of just taking that extra second to deal with the conditions. I'm often placed in a handler position when I play, and I sure recognize when I am playing too fast and throw some trash, even though I'm used to knowing the right thing to do. And it just seemed both teams were rushing while looking for choices that made sense and executing their systems. It's just take that extra second to deal with the slight breeze under the disc.
Well, and you mentioned earlier that it wasn't too windy, a slight breeze. You look at the flags now over the bleachers, and we're seeing the wind has picked up significantly.
This pass a little too high. Can Caseman get there? No, a little too far. And Duclos will pick up. No shot off the static pickup. It'll next this one to Wesley James. And gets it up to Duclos, and then she shoots. And Liam is there once again, her 4th goal of the game for Aura Farming.
She's going to be an early candidate for leading scorer in the tournament, and I think Duclos has thrown all 4 to her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Duclos going to be right up there in the assists. That's right. So, we love. Okay, you know what? Let me ask you. How do you feel about looking at those stats? Like, is it a big deal to be a points or assist leader in a tournament? And I'm not going to say one way's wrong or the other. I just like knowing opinions.
I think it depends. It
Oh,
depends
well,
on
okay.
depends on the
Safe
team
answer,
you're
Shane.
playing with. Of course, it's a safe answer. It really does depend, though. If you're playing with a team and you know that your role is not to be out there and get a point getter, but you are an energy player, you have things to contribute on defense, you have a role to play in helping the team succeed and trying to earn a medal at the Canadian Ultimate Championships, then you'll take that.
Yeah.
If you are able to achieve your team goal,
Yeah,
right?
teams have dribblers, teams have resets, teams have dunkers. I mean, it is a thing when you take players for their specific, nature talents or the things they've worked on. This pull from Salty going to land inbounds, just fielded by Marshall. Puts it to Webster. Smith in the middle. Marshall takes off. This organization, the cutting space, but that's okay. Hucklebears able to reset. Lee wants it, but it's not there. Marshall comes across. Lee's going to take off. Marshall elects not to shoot, but has Liang wide open in the middle. Good punish by Liang as everybody poached deep. Liang puts that out to space for Copeland, who runs onto it. He's going to put that out in front of O'Day. It floats, but not long enough for Salty to catch up. And O'Day bringing it in, but there's a call. So we see some waving of the hands, and I believe it was the throw by Smith to Copeland, so it will have to come back because that's 2 throws, 2 continues. And although, Shane, I do believe we've got an injury by
injury
Morningstar.
call.
Yeah. So if it's an injury call, play was dead. If Morningstar called the injury while Smith was throwing it, things will have to go back to where the injury is called. So it has to go back to Copeland here because the injury happened before Copeland maybe even had it or threw it. Continuation rule is a thing. Teams could technically agree, if the injury happened, but the sequence would have continued with the goal, they could agree to it. But it's nationals. You're gonna go play by the rules here and ensure that your team doesn't suffer any disadvantages.
Some questions here about whether the injured player was in a certain position. I'm just figuring out where to have Tyndall line up.
Copeland is wide open with the disc, but Huck would be kind of dangerous in this situation because now Ainsley Lewis knows it's coming. So, but they go for it anyway. Webster able to seal out the players, and a little bit of contact there, but everybody's cool. And score now 14-8 as Hucklebears get the hold. Both teams still with lots of energy. Salty, I'd say, with the, I'd say it's about 50-50 right now, energy. Hucklebears trying to keep their heads up, but Salty certainly feeling happy right now.
It's a good upwind point for Hucklebears to keep the game alive. Like I said, it's a daunting lead, but you just try to chip away 1 point at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
Teams have scored 7 straight before.
It has happened. Unfortunately for Hucklebears, though, these games are hard capped at 85 minutes, and we are, I want to say, 14 minutes away from that time cap. So, that could be 7 points straight in that amount of time is mathematically impossible with the time between points, I would say. But
are you a math teacher?
Technically only needs this. Technically only needs this.
Good quick math.
No, I guessed. But if you're saying I guessed right, that's down. Jane, also a teacher. So all we do is make fun of each other's abilities. Salty here, facing off against the zone. Able to start moving the disc quickly. Neffin comes through with a big run through D. Will she have any options to throw to? Harned is available in the middle. Harned looks to the Leafers, doesn't like it. Has Neffin going deep. Harned's going to chuck. Long keeps going. Who's going to get there? And it seems either Long or Neffin should have declared that they were the one going to get it rather than yielding to each other there as the disc hits the ground. Tyndall hits Minikin in the middle. Tyndall looking for cuts, trying to direct traffic, finds the around Kadalka. To Fitzgerald. And her pass kind of zippy with the OI, and it hits the turf.
The wrong edge on that throw with the way the wind's blowing.
Arnett looking for options. Neffen's trying an ISO in the front. Arnett goes for the break to Dempsey. Does Dempsey have the read? She does. And that's a break for Hucklebears. The score now, 14-9. Not over yet. But Salty's got to be feeling comfortable.
When you've got this many chances to close it out, you don't have any need to panic yet.
Yet, yeah. And they are heading in what is perhaps the easier direction now, right? You know, now you're going to be going downwind. You're going to be on O. You know, Neffen desperately catching her breath on the sideline.
She made a great play on defense and then a long run to try to receive that huck.
Yeah. Getting some, well, you know, not a big substitution here. About half fresh versus leaving some players on. Tyndall and Minikin still out there.
If you're Salty here for longevity in the tournament, with this being the first game, you want to close this out, right?
You do. We could also see that, like, this isn't the O-line we saw at the beginning of the game from Salty, right? So they could also be thinking, you know, with Remix in our next matchup, we're expecting a tight matchup. Let's give our O-line a little bit of a rest. That disc will sail out of bounds, narrowly missing our camera. And Salty is going to bring this in. You'll see Server Sandra indicating where the disc sailed out of bounds. There is the horn earlier than I thought. So we're going to double check what that meant, because that's 75 minutes. I might have my rules wrong, but we'll be back in our next stream with our stuff figured out when it comes to the cap.
There was a soft cap horn in the junior tournament, Clay, but as far as I understood, that wasn't the case for the senior tournament. But based on timing, that seems like it would be the soft cap horn, which wouldn't affect this game, of course.
No, it won't affect this game. Yeah, so this cap doesn't matter unless we get hard capped. That pass too high for Liang, so Fairweather ends up with the disc after a few passes and gets it over to Tyndall. Tyndall around to Fitzgerald. Mackin tries to put that out to space, but Webster gets the read on it first. Webster letting her team settle. Has Marshall around. In turn goes around to O'Day. O'Day has no continues until Lee comes under. Lee wants some options. Has Copeland on a shallow cut. Copeland's cut had been tighter. She would have had it, but Mackin, seeing that it's on a shallow angle, is able to get the run through. And Tyndall now. Looking for an options, telling Fitzgerald, come get it. And instead goes around to Schroeder. And Mackin not quite prepared for the pass on that line. So Webster will get to pick up. Webster taking a second, letting her team get set. Liang comes underneath. Lee able to go up the line, but good mark there by Fairweather. Shuts it down and has to go around to O'Day, but the disc is now centered. More of a favorable position. Copeland able to get the slash across. There's it out to Webster. No one going. O'Day goes up line. Able to keep it in close to the sideline. Puts that out to space to Lee. And McMackin making the play with the great read to get inside and over top of Lee.
It's 2Ds this point for McMackin.
Yeah, she's shown some deadliness in the air this game. And keeping it in the hands of Salty. Scoring a few goals. Tyndall now. Goes around to Fairweather. Elevating is Schroeder, as she was on an awkward step to get that. Out to McMacken. And to Fitzgerald to seal the game. 15-9 for Salty. Salty firmly in control of this game as of the first half when they went on a break run, but the Hucklebears refusing to go into hibernation and stuck around and did the best they could. Point diff does matter, so scoring as many points as you can, even when a game seems like you're not going to come back from it. It does matter for three-way ties and so forth, so you always want to score as many points as you can in pool play. Bracket doesn't matter, but pool play does. Our next match is going to be Quebec's Quest versus the Ontario's Coda. So another bear come making its way onto the stream, but that will not be next round. We are taking a long break, and that will be in our 4th round of the day. You can look on Ultimate Canada's, CUC, I should say, social media to see when that is, or on the tournament website. Habib Atal and I will be joining you for that game, and followed by a Rut versus Beef matchup, as Shane Habib will be calling that game. Thanks for joining us for our first game of coverage of the Canadian Ultimate Championship Senior Division. We'll be back with you later on.